What is up? What is up, Sagittarius, Sag, Sun, Moon, and Rising, guys? This is Shani with Healing Elements for your Leo season reading, your August 2020 reading, guys. Oof. And shuffled quite a bit, and one just popped out, so must be of utter importance, and we'll see what else wants to come out for you. This is the Kyle Gray Ancestors and Oracles deck. And then I'll pull you a couple. Let's see if one more wants to come. Oh. Okay. And this is by Lucy Cavendish. This deck is the Shapeshifter deck by Lucy Cavendish. It's gorgeous. And look at that. Just like that, 3 came out. So we'll get to your cards, guys. Sag, for Leo season for August in particular, the full moon, which is coming on August 3rd in 2 days from now. It's going to be extremely intense for everybody, despite what placements you have, what aspects, etc. But for, Sag, you guys are, fire like Leo. We're in Leo season. It is extremely electric anyway. We are having a lot of energy. I feel like you are maybe even going stir crazy, of course, as we all are, but really, really, truly, cleaning something that's already been cleaned, just being kind of OCD in place of what you usually do at this time for your birthday, right? Or coming up for your birthday, is plan some sort of getaway, Sagittarius. So I feel like you're not, implementing your energy into a vacation, which you love and you need so desperately. And I feel like that tension may be building up, maybe if not in a tense, anxious, bad, depressive way, perhaps in a excitable, squirrely, wanting to drink more or something of that nature. Just finding, yourself to be uncomfortable out of your skin because you've been limited to the places that you're able to go right now. And I feel like you're really yearning, especially in this month of August, you're yearning to go out on a vacation. So this card, guys, is the Shaman card. Trust in higher forces. It's just beautiful. I'm trying to get so you can see the car, and maybe you can see under the light right there. The smoke, it's kind of cool looking, right? So the Shaman card is amazing. Of course, speaking of an elder, speaking of somebody who, like you, is able to lead the group. So I feel like you guys are woke as fuck. You guys are definitely feeling all kind of ascension symptoms. You're helping others, I feel, at this point, because you're so advanced as far as been there, done that, went through the motions, and you continue to go through them. And you're not alone, of course. But Sag, I feel like right now you can be that shaman, that guide for somebody else or many people, if you're doing a vlog or if you're doing something like YouTube videos, or maybe just shouting out, to some of your friends, or maybe some of your old friends or people that are coworkers or acquaintances are contacting you because of the way in which you are open, like a Sag, do you, for you, always able to, represent whatever that it is you like or dislike. And I'm sure that you have displayed, your spiritual awakening, and awareness and different epiphanies, thoughts, and, cycles that you've been through, perhaps on social media, perhaps just word of mouth. But I feel like right now, this Shaman card from the Ancestors deck, again, from Kyle Gray, is shouting out to you to use those, forces that you have become accustomed to. Show those people who need guidance the road. Show them that if you don't give up, of course, you just are able to ascend higher and to give everything that you have right now for the collective. And it's so important, whether or not you're in the spiritual community or not. So being a shaman is being somebody who is looked upon and dependable, somebody who can be trusted for wise advice and who can use the forces, all of the elements, air, fire, earth, water, right? To develop any kind of remedy or any kind of solution or advice, guide for the hunt, in the tribe. That's what shamans did beside all of their other practices, but I feel like you are really in a position, Sag, again, a lot of energy, of course. I feel like it's balled up within you. I feel like it's wanting to come out, so perhaps this is an avenue that you can explore. You can maybe, mess around on social media or in your old phone or something like that. Contact somebody, unexpected, and you never know. I bet you that person is thinking about you and is going through some sort of change in the way that they, view religion or view meditation or view, concepts like that you would always talk to them about, perhaps even like UFOs, anything like that, ancient civilizations. I feel like you can be a shaman and assure these people because, as people wake up, you remember how it is, Sag. If you haven't gone through the motions, then welcome to the club, and I love and respect you, and I will be there as a support for you all the way. But it is tough, and so having somebody I know is important to me. Like to have YouTube 5 years ago to look up what is a synchronicity, why am I seeing 1111, just from the very grassroots up, right? Everything was starting to multiply. So I feel like you can provide a lot of guidance, support, and validation to that person or persons, people who are going to want to hear that they're not, alone, and they're not going crazy, and they are able to tap into spirit. They are able to be in a meditative state and actually, do things like astral travel. I mean, this is something that I feel, Sag, you guys are so advanced. I feel like you've done that before. I feel like you come and tap into people all the time in their dreams. I feel like you are able to guide and to be that wise shaman that people are respecting, looking up to, and asking for those inner forces to be tapped into for their, greater good and for their healing. And the second card is Father Sky. Beautiful. It says, trust in the unknown. So Sagittarius, at this point with COVID, of course, all of us are kind of, going by everyday, day-to-day updates, and just a lot of us are hanging like the hangman in tarot, right? This is the Father Sky card, which tells us really, really deeply of that energy, that what is around the bend is a complete surprise, but that doesn't mean you have to be afraid of actually making the trek and going around the bend. So if there is a series of events, you guys, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for August, 2020, if you have a whole bunch of really unexpected, crazy type of dilemmas or, situations, or run into somebody very unexpected, trust that this is all orchestrated for a purpose. The unknown is especially, indicative of the sign of Aquarius. It's just quirky, it's unknown, unpredictable type of energy with Uranus, and we are having the full moon on August 3rd in Aquarius. So, and there's a lot of aspects, T-square and everything that involves the sign of Aquarius, and it is going to be heavy. So if you really find yourself in a position that there's just back-to-back, things coming at you that you were not expecting, and you're about to lose your mind, so to speak, just because you're overwhelmed, and again, you're holding all of this fireball tenseness in, and usually you'd be out in the, beach or on some sort of ATV or hiking in the forest, with a big group of people, camping in a retreat. I don't know, perhaps like in a big area, like a lake reserve. But at this point, you can't, or you're unable to do it because of somebody else. Maybe, it's safe for you to go, but somebody else. So I feel like there's a lot of into the great unknown, right? Like there's a lot of unknown, future situations. There's just no foretelling at this time, I feel, for you, Sag, that you really feel, what do? I feel like you're a creature of habit. You really are someone who is there, the epitome of having their shit together. You definitely are on time for everything as far as, as far as on the regular. You're just a really, really respectful person. It's not like I don't see you fucking off at work or anything like that. And I know that something predictable and habitual and ritualistic that is, providing your family with food and, rent money, that is something that you depend on and you grow accustomed to, and really do not ever miss a beat with that routine, all of those steps, right? If it's getting up early and putting on your makeup like at 4 a.m. or something like that, whatever it is for you, like getting that cup of coffee and going out into the garden, whatever it is that was a ritual, perhaps it's been shaken up and it's like unknown type of, non-predictable cycles. So you have to trust in this, that this is for a purpose. There's a big lesson that is big time for me. I'm a changeable, type of person too, just like you. You're a mutable sign, Sag. But the thing is, of course, we can be flexible. We can be mutable. We can adapt, adapt, improvise, overcome, right? However, when, it is a long period of time where there is unknown, future outcomes, or just, I don't even know if my kids are going to be online learning through this year, through November, or back in school. I mean, you name it, through this whole COVID concept, this whole phenomena, pandemic, it's been nuts. And the more that we sit with an unknown that is, not ever getting resolved, it's continuously to be, surprising us with unexpected tower moments. I feel like the more that we distrust that process and start to question, like, woe is me, what the hell is going on, what can I do, the more we push and fight and not trust in the process that this is for a lesson that, we had grown accustomed, all of us had grown accustomed to a non-chaotic, non-emergency type of an environment. And now look, we have human rights, protests and everything from, cops that were, charged for murder in Memorial Day. We have hurricanes. We have the COVID-19, you name it. It is very, very unpredictable. And for some people, maybe those, which are in your family or friend circle, are really freaked out. Maybe, they are the ones that need to be told this message, to trust in the process. Maybe this card, Shaman, came up before. And if it, relates or resonates with you, then, you're trusting in the unknown, the process of unpredictability, and, that mutable sign energy that you represent. Changeability. So maybe you are leading the way and teaching somebody who's very uncomfortable with this, maybe like a Virgo, right? Or Capricorn. You're teaching them about how to go with the flow, basically. And this is beautiful. This is the Eagle card. It says, see from a higher perspective. So perhaps if you, again, I was really channeling that vibe. I was getting the strangest song, but I'm going to tell you, it's Little Red Corvette by Prince. So trippy. So I just pictured, when I got that download, that song for you guys, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, if it means anything to you, Prince or Red, Little Red Corvette, old ass, 80s, I think, song. I really feel like it was like that vibe of you wanting to be away, you wanting to be on vacation, you having worked so hard, put in all your dedication, and you're just ready to play, especially again in this joyful, playful, lion, cub, Leo season, where we want to go and share our love and express to the world that these are the things and the places I like to visit, and this is what I want to do, Sagittarius. So I feel like try to see the situation again for the lessons of having, no predictable outcome and having to count on basically the unknown, unprecedented next events. We do not know what's going on, right? So if you soar like an eagle, you're able to, fly over and have such a vantage point, such a broad perspective. I feel, Sag, you are great at that. You always bounce back. I'm Pisces Sun, you're Sagittarius. I feel like you definitely are able to, when when I've fallen down, and Lord knows we all do, if we're going through spiritual awakening, yes, we maintain, this concept of being mindful, and we are able to center ourselves and realign and ascend higher. However, there are moments where, of course, being human nature, we're going to get bogged down with sadness, despair, or stress. And sometimes it's important to have a Sagittarius, so you may be helping out a water sign like a Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces, or a Gemini. I see really close with the Gemini. I want to say you're helping them out to see this whole entire situation. I really feel like this reading is all about you stepping up into this role as the shaman, this role as to help somebody. If it hasn't been already, again, I feel like you or that person, people will reach out, and you will be able to show them and tell them by, stories, explanations, descriptions of what you went through or going through, and they will begin to see this whole thing from a different perspective. Perhaps you are trying to teach wisdom into those who really feel like this situation is simple and that there is no programming or any, funny business going on. Well, there probably is, in this climate, you never can tell. So I feel like maybe you are leading people, if they're freaking out about conspiracy theories or freaking out about not getting an immunization or wanting to wear a mask. I feel like you may be telling them, hey, why don't we look at this from a different perspective? I think that I respect your perspective, but let me show you how, it would benefit if you just wore a mask, right? Or something like that. I feel like, Sag, you're just not really the most patient person with people who won't adhere to simple guidelines that are basic, common sense to you. But I feel like you really are maybe to younger, like teens or kids or people who are just in a, younger, earlier stage of ascension, just maybe going through it again for the first or, very, very early stages type of thing where they're just beginning to notice this pattern of full moons and new moons having downloads and, seeing synchronicities and really, really almost seeing through the veil so much. Sag, you explain to them, oh yeah, no, like I've seen magic in real life. Sag has, right? This one is beautiful. It's the Sage. Be devoted and be centered. Beautiful. So this card of the Sage speaks of that calm, centered, almost, I really liken it to the Shaman card. So you got two that really are the same energy. They're letting you know that you are able, you're capable to hold that stillness. Even though you're raring to go, you have that ball of fire burning inside your belly. You want to get going. You want to go on vacation. I feel like you're going to be able to expend some of this energy in a beautiful way to, again, people who will be presented to you, or you will come at them, even if this is someone who you just meet online or something like that, who is really just connecting with you and in need of this stillness, is in need of the faith and hope to be ingrained within them. Let them know that their faith and hope in the process of helping others, healing others, and creating abundance and wealth in the process, enough to sustain your family. I feel like you will be able to be like the Sage. You'll be able to show these people what kind of devotion it takes. You're, again, a very diligent person. You're about to show people just how changeable and mutable you can be if you need to pivot into a different job or do a different role, as far as you're going to come home and be with the family and someone else, your partner's going to go back out. It's like you are going to show people how devoted you can be to your family, how devoted you can be to this concept of helping everybody on the planet, in the universe, to come together and to live at peace and to preach these peaceful, still, embodiment of Buddha type energy, to be one and centered with yourself is such a better vantage point, like the Eagle card, to see in different perspectives, because you're able to take your emotional and, chaotic thinking that goes on when you may be worked up, out of the mix, when you're able to center yourself and just take the time to meditate and, take those 4 breaths in and 8 to 10 out. And this is perfect, right? We got the Moon card, guys. The Moon card says, take note of intuitive messages. So yeah, I feel like Sagittarius will get a lot of dreams, of course, right? Every full moon, but I feel like this is going to be powerful. Sag, you're going to be definitely tapping into a lot of, spiritual downloads, and they're going to hit you in the gut with a big, powerful realization or awareness. You're going to really, I feel like this Moon card is saying it is going to boost up all of these properties, which are beautiful. This is trusting in the unknown as a wise older. Do you notice how all 4, even the eagle, is a wise older male eagle? You can tell. All of these are just such, noble type of been there, done that, tried and true, followed your heart and didn't give up when the times or opposition got too hard. I feel like the moon, this full moon in Aquarius on August the 3rd, for you guys, is going to really boost up and last for 6 months to get your juices flowing, to get your, you know, motivation, to present you with people that, you know, you're not only going to validate the way that they're feeling, they're also going to, because we all still need encouragement along the way, they're going to do the same for you. This is really, really heavy. So during the full moon, maybe do something of a ritual, a bath with rose petals, or burn some sage. Maybe just take a walk and ground yourself, root yourself in the soil, something like that. This is very, very powerful card, the moon card, to get on the full moon, and I bet you most of the readings will get it. All right, guys, this is the Lucy Cavendish deck, and this is, I wish you can see these, this is the shapeshifter deck. I'm trying to get it to, so you can see it. It says, a time to say goodbye. Do you need to cut something off? Do you need to cut the cord, Sag? Do you need to walk away? You need to tell something, even if it's very special to you, goodbye, right? For your path. Something is about to end for now. So maybe it's your job, maybe it is a relationship, maybe you're going to say goodbye to that last bit of ego, right? That egoic mindset, it's like loss of ego, right? Part of the spiritual awakening. Maybe you didn't even think that you had anything to say goodbye to, right? You didn't think you had any material or possessions that weighed you down, or you didn't think that you had anybody in your circle of trust, of people who you confide in or are allied with or live with as family members. You perhaps are going to, during the full moon, have an extreme situation. I feel like it's a tower moment that is going to not force the issue, but it's going to force you to realize that it is time to say goodbye to whatever that is that comes up during the full moon, or you're intuitively guided to think about letting go. Then that means that that's exactly what spirit or your higher self is guiding you to let go of. This one is, you are unlike anyone else. You sure are, Sagittarius. This is a beautiful card. Your contradictions and complexities are interesting. So yes, Sagittarius, I love you guys. You're so interesting. Again, being a fire sign and being mutable, changeable, is very, very powerful, and also very peculiar and, you know, extraordinary and unique. And definitely, whenever someone meets you, they will never get you confused or not know what, you know, you look like, discern from somebody else. You are always, you know, complex, because you're not one to be gushy with your emotions. You're not one to carry your heart openly on your sleeve, but you are extremely deep and sensitive, and, you know, you'll cry at movies or at sad things. You just don't like to go around and display it like a big hot mess, like this Pisces sun, right? So I feel like this is part of what makes you so complex during this month in August. I feel like perhaps, you know, you are so intriguing to somebody, or some, you know, situation happens and it really shows you that it's not aligned with you and what you're doing right now. And this card says you are unlike anyone else, and perhaps you are so unlike that person, you are so unlike anyone else that is around you, that you have to say goodbye to that. And it's a killer. It's killed me every time I've had to cut a relationship due to this process, or just regarding just the steps that have gone down, just the things that I've been awoke to, or, you know, I speak on it in other videos. Just for an example, a harsh example, you know, people who I loved dearly, but I just could not, you know, remain in a constant communication or flowing relationship with, because, you know, I found out that they were racist like years ago, and so it just broke my heart. Or that they didn't, you know, think that people who say that they're gay or transgender, they don't think that they have any right to do that, and that they advocate for the schools to quote unquote fix people, you know. So like there were things like that that would come up during my spiritual awakening, and I had no choice. Before, I would put my blinders on and kind of do that Pisces like rose colored glasses and just be like, oh, you know, I'll say my piece, like, oh no, that's disgusting, I hate racism, but I still wouldn't detach that person, especially the person I'm talking about, as family member, right? So I feel like right now you are going to realize you're unlike anyone else. You're not ready to sit down and hold all these complexities in. I feel like you're really, you know, spreading your wings as far as being in the position of silent master, right? And you're able to now understand the importance of being around people who vibrate to the same frequency and that are, there to either be a part of the collective equally, or, be a guide along with you, like a sage or a shaman, or be your, mentor, or you're going to be a mentor to them. You're going to, find that there are disciples. This ongoing process is so heavy. And just remember back to, when, or if you're going through now, when you were experiencing these dark nights of the soul, or just elation because of all these, aligned synchronicities that are impossible to ever happen in just statistic possibilities, right? I feel like it's really important for me to give you that message, to reach out to somebody who calls to you intuitively. Perhaps you're going to think of this person on the full moon. This intuitive guidance, it says listen to your intuition, will lead you to that person. And it's probably time to say goodbye to some parties who are around you. I feel like there's a lot of maybe catty gossip bullshit that you might not be aware of, and it's time to say goodbye to that entity so that you can go on and help even people who, again, you may have just met, and the other people that you have to say goodbye to you've known your whole life. But this is so important as part of the mission, right? Part of your life path. And the last card, guys, is Fiona and the Unicorn, the gift of sacred sight. So you are going to be amazingly tapped in. So this card, Fiona and the Unicorn, is all about, tapping in, and right under the full moon card. So absolutely, you have the gift already as being a Sagittarius of seeing big time through the veil. You're able to sometimes see real ghosts. I've known a Sag that is, known to see them constantly and time again, right? So Fiona the Unicorn is saying, that the veil is lifted 110%. It is, right? And especially with this full moon. Come on, full moon in Aquarius, guys, get ready for August 3rd. It's gonna be knock your socks off, kind of crazy, kind of enlightening, kind of all-encompassing, very, very intense, rip-roaring rapids type of full moon madness, right? So you will, and you already do, have your eyes wide open. Your third eye especially is what I'm talking about. But I feel like in this month of August, full moon is going to open them even wider. You're going to be able to, see things that you can't unsee, and it's for a good reason. You're going to find more purpose and more inspiration and more, lessons to teach or to advice to give to people, again, who are going to be aligned with you and come in for validation that they are not alone in this global awakening, right? So Sag, Sun, Moon, and Rising for August 2020. I adore you. I appreciate you. I appreciate every single one of you. All the likes, all the comments. Everybody is so good to me and so kind. And I just want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, I'm so humbled. And I'm just happy that if I can resonate, honestly, with one person, with two people, if I can give any kind of validation the way that I receive it, still right now to this day, with everyone in the Instagram fam and YouTube, that's my karmic payback, and I will continue to do it, until the mission's over, guys. So thank you, guys. Blessings, love, and light.